Do you think the spread of ahimsa and the conversion of Ashoka into Buddhism paved the way for Turkic invasions? And also, why is Buddhism not a prevalent religion in India in modern times? Even in places like UP and Bihar, followers of Buddhism are very less. Okay, yeah, good question. So you see, ahimsa or non-violence is not a central tenet of only Buddhism. It is a central tenet of Dharma itself. Dharma does say that ahimsa paramo dharma. Ahimsa is the greatest of dharmas. It is the greatest morality, ahimsa. But what does this really mean? That ahimsa is the paramo dharma. Does it mean that you will allow violence to occur and sit by and watch it? No. Ahimsa paramo dharma also means that you have to destroy a dharma. You have to destroy all sources of violence. If a barbaric invader invades your country and destroys people's lives, etc., it is your duty to take up arms and destroy the source of adharma and hinsa. That is also ahimsa, because your objective is to make the world a non-violent place. So you have to sometimes do it with weaponry, with arms, with violence. Lord Krishna tried his best to prevent the war in Mahabharata. But at the end, he exhorted Arjuna that forget about your doubts and all that. Just do your duty. Your duty is that of a soldier, of a warrior. Go and kill, go and destroy adharma. That's it. And the same goes for Buddhism. It is a myth that Buddhism says you need to be passive and don't resist anything. That's nonsense. One of our greatest emperors was the great emperor Kanishka, who was a Buddhist. Every single scholar of history considers Kanishka to be a Buddhist. Now let's examine Mr. Kanishka's life and career, one of our greatest emperors. He spent his life conquering other territories and other countries. His empire ranged from the Caspian Sea and the Aral Sea in the west, in Central Asia. It encompassed the whole of Afghanistan, most of present day Xinjiang, present day China, and much of India, all the way to Bangladesh and to the outskirts of present day Burma. Now, he did not do this through non-violence, this great Buddhist emperor. He did it through active, vigorous military conquest. So, where is the non-violence here? He was a Buddhist. And I can give you lots of other examples of Buddhist kings and emperors who have engaged in warfare. So this idea that Buddhism is a non-violent religion, it has sapped India's vitality, etc., that's nonsense. Buddhism is very much a part of Hinduism. I will say this again and again. Buddhism is very much a part of Hinduism. It is not a separate religion. So if Hinduism is prevalent in India today, it means Buddhism is also prevalent in some form. Buddhism is one of the schools of thought of Hinduism. So why did Buddhism decline as a school of thought? It's because of the Turkic invasions. They destroyed every trace of Buddhism. Before they entered India, they were destroying Buddhism all across Central Asia. They even wrote poems, ugly poems, about destroying statues of the Buddha and doing evil things to those statues, vile, disgusting things to those statues. And then they did the same thing in India. So they were specifically targeting the statues of the Buddha and monasteries and temples of the Buddha. And they are the ones who destroyed. The Turks are the ones who destroyed Buddhism, stamped out Buddhism from India. And Hinduism did survive, which is a different manifestation of Dharma, right? So today we call it with this foreign name Hinduism. It's just Dharma. Buddhism is just another form of Dharma, and so is what we call Hinduism today. So the reason for Buddhism's decline in India is the Turkic invasions. They specifically targeted everything that was Buddhist in nature. And secondly, Buddhism doesn't force you to be completely non-violent. You can be violent. You can resist a dharma. You can destroy people who are violent and adharmic.